Kevin, Muddy River Tactical. Thanks for joining us today. Today we're going to go over one of my favorite 380 pistols, the Ruger LCP Max. You know, 380 pistols have a lot of pros and cons to them, so I want to start by going over some of those. You know, in a pistol this size, it is definitely for a close quarter, you know, self-defense situation. This isn't a pistol you go out to buy to, you know, shoot long distances or anything like that. This is a up close and personal self-defense pistol. So when you figure that in, this gun does a very good job for its intended purpose. You know, 380 is kind of the smallest caliber I would consider carrying. I much prefer 9, but definitely, don't get me wrong, I don't think you or me want to stand in front of any bullet, let alone a 380, so it definitely does its purpose. But the one good thing about the Max compared to previous LCPs and most of the LCPs on the market is you get 10 rounds now. So it's a 10+1 mag capacity. So even though it's a 380, you get enough rounds to justify in a defensive situation. You know, 10's always better than 6 in a one before. So that's a huge upgrade for this gun. This gun has a 2.8-inch barrel and weighs in at roughly 18 ounces. So it's a super lightweight polymer gun. And as you can see, the frame, it's just one of those guns that you can conceal anywhere. You can pocket carry it in holsters. I mean, there's all sorts of ways to carry it and conceal it easily. So overall, I'm not a huge fan of carrying a gun this small, but you know, there is times and situations come summertime when you're in shorts and t-shirts and stuff like that. There's just certain situations that you can't carry a full-size gun and conceal it effectively. So this really gaps that purpose in that market. The sights on this gun have a tritium front white dot sight and a U back sight. The sights are surprisingly good. I haven't shot this gun yet, but I've just been looking at it and they look really good. Sight acquisition, target acquisition just seems really good. So we'll just kind of confirm that when we shoot it here in a little bit. Like I said, the issue with smaller guns for a lot of people is, I think it's funny sometimes people come into the gun shop and they, you know, most of the time they're buying a gun for their wife or something, a guy that's into shooting and wants to get his wife into shooting, and she's never shot a pistol before, and this is the first pistol they pick up is the super small guns because they want to conceal them, and that's great. The thing they don't realize is the smaller the gun, the harder it is to shoot. So if you take somebody for their first shooting experience and give them a gun this small, they're going to have a hard time shooting it well, because even people that shoot all the time, you know, this is a gun you really have to work at to shoot well. So I would definitely consider, if you're looking for a 380 that's more shootable to really get somebody into shooting, I would consider like the EZ 380, Smith & Wesson EZ 380 would be a great option for that. It just gives them a little more grip and allows them to be able to shoot it a lot better than what they will be able to start off by doing. And please don't take that as I'm trying to steer you away from this pistol. I just want to bring it up because it's one of the common things that people don't think about when they start looking at pistols of this size, is they think about the great part of it, which is the concealability, which I agree with 100%, but they don't think about the shootability. So just keep that in mind when you're going to think about one of these. And lastly, this gun's backed by Ruger. You know, they back their stuff 100%. So I'd have no qualms or concerns about Ruger products. If there ever is a problem, they'll get you taken care of for sure. A couple things before we shoot it. Just first off, like I said, I haven't shot this gun at all. You guys are going to see me shoot the first rounds through it, and we're just going to kind of do a first impressions video, not really a full review, just because I'm only going to shoot, you know, 40 or 50 rounds through it with you guys here. But the grip being wider, because it holds the 10 rounds, just feels a lot better for being that small of a gun. Just feels a lot better in your hand than the original LCPs. It allows me to grip it. You know, the regular LCPs just seem so narrow. They're just is really hard to grip. This one is definitely better in that aspect. The slide serrations work very well, make it easy to rack. These guns rack fairly easy anyway, so that's not a big deal. But I do like, I don't know if you can see this ridge right here, it's got it on both sides. But on guns this small, especially if you're in a hurry trying to manipulate your gun. That ridge just gives you an extra gripping point right there, which is super nice in my opinion. So let's stop talking for a minute and I'll put my ear protection on. Let's shoot the first rounds through this gun and just see what our initial impressions are. Surprisingly, it's not as snappy as I thought it would be, and I think a lot of that is this grip right here being wide enough allowed me to get a better grip on it than the LCPs before. So my very first impressions would be that the snappiness is definitely there. Don't get me wrong, it's a 380 and a 18-ounce polymer gun, so it's going to have some snap to it, but it's definitely not as bad as what I figured it would be. So let's put another mag through this and see. I was right on the sights, so I'm really a fan of these sights. Overall, that U, I'm not a fan of on full-size guns, but on this small of a gun, that's kind of hard for, it doesn't have a long enough barrel for good target acquisition. These sights work incredibly well, and it just stayed on target very good. So I'm a huge fan of these sights from the get-go here. The other thing is that trigger, for being a budget type 380 and a Ruger, feels really good. I don't know what the actual, let's show you the trigger real fast. So it's got just a little bit of take up there, and then a solid wall, and then a break. It's a little heavy, but on this size of gun, that's not necessarily a bad thing. And then the reset is a little long, but then it's got that crisp wall. Overall, I'm pretty impressed with the trigger on that gun. It was definitely a upgrade over the original LCPs, and I can definitely see myself liking it. So let's shoot one more mag and then we'll go over the final details here. We did have one failure right there. I think I accidentally hit the mag release button. Like I said, this grip's so small, I think when I was gripping it, and I'm left-handed too, and the mag release is right there. I'm pretty sure I just disconnected the mag release, but let's try it again. The rest of the mag was fine, so I'm almost 100% sure that was me on the mag release because it was barely disengaged there. So overall, this, just the first, I shot 3 mags through it, so the first 30 rounds through this, I'm really impressed. I never really carried the original LCPs. I didn't like the grip of them. They just weren't quite big enough to shoot. And this one's still not a super easy shooting gun, but it's definitely way better than the original LCPs. So I think I'm definitely gonna give this some more try. The takeaway that I would take from, just like I said, the first initial impressions of this gun, where I'm definitely gonna shoot this gun some more, but it is a huge upgrade over the other models of the LCPs and the other small 380s that I've shot. This is by far my favorite. Just that little bit extra grip and the ergonomics right there of it. It shot really well for this size of gun. I'm actually looking for a gun for my wife. She has a smaller build, so concealing with all women's clothes and stuff is kind of an issue sometimes. So this may be a viable option for her. She shoots a lot with us and shoots fairly well, so I think she'll be able to handle this gun good. So women for sure, and even men, I'm looking for a summer type carry when we go places with the kids and different things. Just a gun to conceal easier in different situations. I think this may fill that gap. So overall, for the $350 or right in that ballpark that these guns run, I definitely recommend trying one out. So far, I'm really impressed with it, and I think that will continue. The one little failure we had right there, like I said, hopefully it was just the mag release, which I'm almost 100% positive it was, but it's on camera there so you guys can see. Overall, this is a great gun. If you guys want to check one out, I would definitely do it. I think it's a very viable option. Also, if you need any holsters for this LCP Max or any of the guns you have, you can check out our website, muddyrivertactical.com, and we'll always be able to get you taken care of. And also, if you haven't liked and subscribed, we greatly appreciate you doing so. We'd love to have you join us. Until next time, keep practicing and always be prepared.